Hi there, it's Karen, and I am here with Whiskey Sour, who is turning out to be quite a celebrity and quite the mascot. He's the softest guy on the planet. I can't tell you how soft this guy is. And I got one of these guys for a nephew up in Canada who cuddled with him a lot at Christmas, and then I ended up cuddling with him the whole time I was visiting at Christmas. Loved him so much, so I went back to the Zeller store and got another one, that's Whiskey, and he accompanied me back to LA on the plane, and he became my pillow on the plane. Softest guy in the whole world. So I I brought him back with me, and he's actually serves as a really good pillow. Like, he's just so soft and so perfect, and so that's why he's always kind of right near my bed like this. So, but now he's become a mascot and a celebrity all at the same time. People want to know what's going on with him. So that's pretty cool. And so I've also had some people ask about am I ever going to get another pet since losing my cat, my stray cat Filthy. And for those of you who don't know that story, I'll just be really brief because I've told the story so many times now. It's becoming like a classic annual story now. But he got into my building every single day, 2 to 3 times a day, past a gated entrance, past a manager who hated his guts, and got up the stairs, down a long hall into my door, and would meow. And he came at a time in my life where I really needed him, and I refer to him as my angel. I called him Filthy because he was so dirty when I got him, like unbelievably dirty. Most of his fur was white, and so when I cleaned him up, he looked good again. But the name stuck, you know. So I'm not being mean calling him Filthy. For all you people to say, that's a mean name. It's like, no, that cat was the king, you know, he got treated so well. So I miss him horribly, and I will get other pets, but I want to move from this location, and I just don't have time to move right now. It's, you know, just moving is such a overhaul, and the idea of going online and trying to find new places and all that stuff right now, I just can't imagine that in my life at this particular moment. But I do want to move. When I do, it's going to be a place that has animals. I'm going to have more animals than you guys even understand, and they're going to show up on camera lots. So until then, we got Whiskey, who's my mascot for now. And I'm sure he won't mind moving over when a little kitty or a pup comes in. I am puppy crazy, so the day I get a pup, you guys, it's going to be the biggest news in the whole world. You won't even understand how many pictures and video I'm going to take of that guy, and I'm going to get him 24 million hits on YouTube. It's going to be a big day when that happens. So whatever shelter I can find that little gem at. Today's blog that I want to read to you is called Time Stealers and Bad Habits. And we all have them. It's the key is to just kind of identifying them in our day and see what is the bad habit, what is the time stealer. And this blog was inspired by Tom S. on thepublicrecord.com. I had put up one of my video blogs on there, and Tom responded to it. And I want to read what he wrote and then tell you about the blog that I wrote after it. He said, it was because I had written something about Einstein in that video blog that kind of inspired it. He said, I had dinner at the Princeton University restaurant that Einstein would frequent. I sat next to his table, which was preserved as he would have it. Even a genius has his habits. It is the hardest thing to do, break a cycle of behavior. I think about that a lot with my son. What habit am I putting into him that I really don't want him to have? What habit can I break that I keep repeating? Not talking about the little habits, I mean the big ones that change your life every 4 years or so, as if we were still in school and needed to graduate from something. I love that he said that. It takes a bird's eye view to see those, and how rare it is for an ordinary man to see that without the help of someone who knows better. And he says, I really like Maya Angelou, who's, you know, she's such a great poet. She says, success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. Now that I know better, I do believe. And he closed off by saying, love that woman. So thank you, Tom, for putting that in the comments. I love deep thinkers. And I don't mean you have to think all day long and be a philosopher all day long. I do love philosophy, and I do love quotes, and I do love thinking. But I love this kind of concise paragraph that Tom put together, where he recognized immediately, you know, the things that were debilitating, and the things that he could potentially be instilling in his children. Because as we all can agree, the children are the future. And so, you know, raising children is a huge responsibility, and it's an important responsibility. And Tom recognizes this. I mean, the fact that he's questioning himself in his parenting and things like that leads me to believe he's probably an awesome dad. So, anyway, so I thought I'd read the blog that is called Time Stealers and Bad Habits that was inspired from the sentence that Tom wrote on thepublicrecord.com. If you happen to catch my building manager in between her soap operas, this is the cat hater, by the way. You'll see her doing the exact same thing she did yesterday. She will be watering the front gardens, vacuuming the halls, or taking her small cart and walking it to the grocery store. Her daily rituals work for me because I knew exactly when I could let the stray cat in and out. If the power is out when she needs to watch her soaps, it's a tragedy. I have a full understanding of what soap operas can do to a person. My grandmother lived with us on the farm and watched the whole afternoon lineup. See if any of you guys know this. Starting at 1 o'clock, Days of Our Lives, she'd watch All My Children, Another World, and The Young and the Restless. I even think after that point, now that I think about it, there was a Bold and the Beautiful or something that came in the picture there. But I know she would flip back and forth between General Hospital. So I think that might have even been on another channel that she'd flip back and forth to. Now, if watching soap operas for 1/3 of your waking hours is something you truly love, and you are totally okay with it, that's cool. But I suspect this sort of daily marathon is to combat boredom or loneliness. After all, the story lineup behind a soap is designed to induce gossip and intimacy. Every cliffhanging moment keeps you on the edge and wanting more the next day. I think living through others can either spice up our own life, or keep our mind off of something really bad. This habit my grandmother had seeped into our lives too. And I would think, would Ashley and Victor ever get together? Would Nikki have a stranglehold on him for life? Or would Catherine and Jill finally kill each other? I just had to know. Every single day I had to know. What started happening as life got in the way of TV? Summertime would get you hooked, and then dang it if school didn't interfere. I was faced with my choice, my education or the life of Jill Abbott. Okay, so very dramatic, but you get what I'm saying. Soaps can be an anchor around your feet. For me, they were a bad habit that my grandmother had ingrained in us, a daily ritual that she passed down. There were other bad habits growing up, like smoking, alcohol, and drugs. These tend to be the habits that we think about. Now, there are support programs for those, but there wasn't a support program for the following bad habit that I developed, and I'm not sure that there is one. I just had to ditch it myself. That bad habit is negativity. Most people engage in it in some fashion. It's either gossip, racism, hate, political wars, religious discussions. The bad habit of negativity seeps into every corner like poison through a building's ventilation system. We don't understand what is making us sick, and it might not even be enough to kill us. But I am seeing spots of this sickness everywhere. And pessimism is always also a bad habit. When I say that these things are habits, it's different than those who are actually negative or pessimistic with just cause. Now, does that even seem ridiculous? I call them habits because we have developed a lingo in our society where we go for the bad reaction based on it coming out of our mouth that way. We give our own leaders negative titles because everyone else does. We will spew out sentences that didn't come from our own thoughts, but because the news, magazines, and radio keep saying it over and over and over. It's like we have become programmed to say what they're saying. Yesterday at 6 o'clock, you may have watched the news and they blurted out something to make you say you hate someone or hate something. What we don't see is that our daily habit or ritual of watching the news, that they told us exactly what to feel at that certain time of day. You may even leave that broadcast, go jump on Google, and find more related stories to keep their ritual going. The reason I stopped watching soaps and the news is because I didn't want my life or their opinions dictating how I think, how I feel, or how I live. Their news is not the only news. We make our own news. We create our own story. We say where we will be at 6 p.m., not them. Breaking a bad habit or ritual takes a massive amount of courage. I believe it's the biggest enemy on our own person. We can break this if we can actually identify it. Nobody can make you join their religion, their group, their political party, or Monday night basket weaving session. We get to say how we spend our time. What I did was took a look at my day and had to really identify what discussions were stealing my soul. I had to do some math and see where my time was wasted. I decided I wouldn't be guilted into joining anything that did not enrich my life and those around me. I put my TV by the curb, and I changed my homepage from the news channel it was always landing on. Time spent playing an instrument or painting my dolls beats the hell out of the negative broadcast. Now, if you get joy from that, you're the only person I know who delights in it. Snapping the face off my cello is how I signed off. Time goes, you say? Ah, no, alas, time stays. We go, which is a quote by Henry Austin Dobson. Snapping the face off my cello. I would hear all these little noises coming from my cello. And I just thought, you know, sometimes the strings will slip. For those of you guys that play instruments, the strings will slip a little bit. And I would hear, I thought the pegs were just doing that little slipping thing. See, where I live, and in Los Angeles, most of the times you can just keep your windows open. It's not in Canada where you have that kind of double pane glass going on. And so I keep my windows open kind of all year round, but the weather changes, so it's really, really hot sometimes, and other times it's really, really cold. So this is not good for instruments, another reason why I want to move. But so I just thought, oh, it's just doing its little settling in thing, and then I'd go to play it, and it would, like, the C sounded like a D and stuff, and I was just like, God, these are those awesome tuning pegs that I bought for it. This shouldn't be doing this. And then finally, the whole face snapped off the cello. So it wasn't the pegs, it was actually the whole front of the cello came loose from the ribs of the cello. And so, just snapped, right? But I would rather deal with that than deal with all the negative things that are going on in life. You know, I can re-glue and put some clamps on it and get that sucker back into shape. It's really old. You have to understand, with old instruments, I think sometimes you have to baby them a bit more, but I'm so unwilling to baby them, and I play them so violently. So that was kind of a little giggle in my day. So that's why I signed off, snapping the face off my cello. That's what happened. So that's what's going on in my world. Thank you so much, Tom, for inspiring this blog. I think that you must be a really great father, and the fact that you are questioning your own habits and wanting to change, I think, is an amazing thing. But even more so, you are really conscious of what you're instilling in your children, and that's a completely awesome thing. All right, so I will talk to you guys again tomorrow, and until next time, rock on.